And the reason why this week's test is a little tricky is just because there's so much content. It's not hard content. As long as you kind of really listen to what I've been kind of going over, you should be okay. But it's important to know that there are major connections. So, India's trade makes kingdom self-sufficient. Okay, so northern India is going to be ruled by who for a while? Who can raise their hand and tell me who's ruling northern India? Max?
Harsha.
No, Harsha gets knocked out within 50 years. Who is ruling northern India for a while? Aiden?
Sultan and Delhi.
There you go. Are they going to be a consistent rule or a very shaky rule?
Shaky.
They're very shaky. Internally, they have a lot of conflict. Externally, they have a ton of conflict. They're not a very strong ruler. Does your economy thrive if you're a strong ruler or weak? If you have a strong ruler, your economy is going to thrive. So is northern India going to be thriving or struggling? Struggling. Southern India is going to be controlled by Hindu kings and small empires. Are they going to be consistent or inconsistent? Consistent. Southern India is not going to be invaded. It doesn't get taken over until the British in period 5. So, because of that, India's trade is going to make India self-sufficient in the southern part. Northern India is going to be very, very shaky because of the political instability. Southern India is going to thrive. The major items that they're going to be having is iron, copper, salt, and pepper. Pepper is an Indian export. How much do we depend on it on a regular basis? A lot. It's only going to become more and more powerful, which is going to be one of the largest exports out of India. However, it's going to meet cotton here shortly, and cotton is going to explode. So southern India makes more money than northern India because of government stability. Okay? So a lot of your Muslim traders are going to skip the Sultanate of Delhi because of all the political instability and head straight down to southern India. Now, another major thing that's going to happen is that temples in Indian society are going to be the center of life. They are the center of education. They are the center of trade, agriculture, and banking. Okay? They are a fundamental component of the Indian culture. Now, temples are the foundation of Indian culture, especially in southern India. It is only going to make Indians hold on to their religion at a much deeper level because of the invasion of Muslims to the north, because of the Sultanate of Delhi and all the chaos they've created. Just like when the Jews have a diaspora out of their homeland, okay, they become better Jews because they become more close-knit, more devoted, and have a lot more connection to each other. Same thing's going to happen in India. Hinduism is going to have a resurgence of power again, and because of this, temples and all that stuff are going to be a major source of it. Now, Indian Ocean trade is going to have a huge increase on both the Silk Road and Indian Ocean Basin. Period 2 is when we have the start of the Silk Road. Period 3 is the explosion of the Silk Road in the Indian Ocean Basin. One of the reasons why trade is going to increase so significantly is because there's larger ships. We have jukes, which are Chinese, and dhows, which are Indian. This is a big concept. There's 4 or 5 questions on your midterm about Indian Ocean trade during period 3. You will have to identify a juke and a dhow. When we get to your midterm, we'll sit there and draw them out, but I just can't right now. Is that fair? All right. So, creation of emporias. Has anyone ever been to an emporium? And everyone been to a store that says it's an emporium? Okay. My mom watches Shark Tank or something. I know, my mom loves that show. You love it too?
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Good show.
I've never watched a moment of it. Anyway, there was she likes Undercover Boss. Anyway, Undercover Boss followed some lady in Tampa who owns a candy emporium or something. It has like soda and candy. What emporium is, it brings in resources from all around the world into one location. Now, when you go to a bazaar or a market, say Miss Patel is making jewelry. If I go to her stall in the market and I buy jewelry, I'm buying it from Miss Patel. She's selling it to me. Everyone understands it's a local dealing, correct? With the creation of emporiums, we have the creation of warehouses. So what's going to happen is Emily is going to open a warehouse in an emporium in Tampa, and Miss Patel, who's 500 miles away, is going to sell some of her goods to Emily, and I'm going to buy my goods from Emily, then Emily will give Miss Patel money in return for that. Does that make sense? Emporiums are a big deal because it's the foundation of modern-day business, which means we have external people, non-craftsmen, selling items in large scale. We have items being sold by other people far away. Reason why imports are a big deal, it shows us there's a high enough demand that people are willing to build warehouses and store stuff in it with the confidence that they will actually sell it. We take for granted the idea of warehouses because there's so many. The idea of a warehouse means we know people are going to buy it, we just have to get enough stock of it. This shows that India's economy, is it booming or struggling? It is booming, and that is the big foundation. The biggest thing that is coming out of India right now, the newest thing, is cotton. Cotton is going to transform the world. India is going to be the largest exporter of cotton until what country comes along? America, the US, the colonies, the British colonies here in the United States. Cotton is such a big deal and such big business. The southern part of the United States is going to go to war with the northern part of the United States in order to keep their economy in peace. Okay? The Southern War, the Civil War, was not about slavery. The South needed slaves to keep their economy going. Everything in the South was based on cotton. Cotton was the largest, most profitable export in the world at the time. By taking away the slaves of the South, you destroyed the Southern's economy. So the Civil War is fought over cotton because of how in demand it is. The first time cotton becomes a major important export is during period 3. The reason why people show up to America is to find ways to grow more cotton because people are tired of paying high prices for cotton, and they're also looking for a faster route to get to India in order to get more cotton and get more spices. Once they get to the United States, and once they get to the Americas and they find that you can grow cotton, guess where most of your immigrants are going? They're going to America, they're going to Southern America in order to grow cotton. Okay, cotton is a huge deal. It will transform the world in both period 3, 4, 5. Okay, so cotton's a big deal. All right, now the next thing you need to know is African and Indian trade. Now, in African and Indian trade, there's one major kingdom that the Indians are trading with. It's called the Kingdom of Axum. Now, AP World cares about weird things. They want to know about weird oddities that pop up. The Kingdom of Axum is that. Now, the Indian Ocean Basin, what are the 3 major religions circling in the Indian Ocean Basin? Max.
Christianity.
Buddhism. No, Christianity is not one of the big ones.
Buddhism.
Micah. Buddhism. Micah.
Hinduism.
Hinduism. And now what? What's being pushed in from the north? Islam. So the 3 major religions on the Indian Ocean Basin are Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam. Okay? Islam is going to be carried along the Silk Road because it's the most important religion being spread along the Silk Road during period 3. The Kingdom of Axum is the only major kingdom in Africa that is Christian. They are constantly interacting with Buddhists, Hindus, and Muslims. They have very limited interaction with Christians, but guess what they become? They become Christians. It's weird. It's really strange. They have a black Jesus, which is really cool, who speaks 5 different languages and stuff like that. They build their churches down into the ground, and they go down into the dirt, and then they make these beautiful, super ornate churches where they hand carve everything. It's very cool because guess what it is in Ethiopia? Is it hot or cold?
Why?
It's hot. So digging down into the stone, guess what? It's colder. So they build down into only for their churches. Their houses are on top, but they built the churches as a true sanctity or a true protected place, a sacred place, in order to make it easier for people to spend more time in the church. Isn't that beautiful? Okay? And they have all these different things. They create they take Jesus and stuff like that. They believe Jesus is in fact born from Africa. And they kind of take and kind of twist some of the Christianity into suiting their own needs and stuff. It's actually a really kind of cool thing. Okay? But the weird thing is that they become Christian in a major trading capital where Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam are the most popular religions, and they become Christian. AP loves this. They love it. Every single year it's somewhere on the test, or it definitely could be an answer to a test. All right? Now, So here's some of the architecture. By the way, this no longer exists. By the way, Boko Haram or whatever they are. Do you know who I'm talking about?
What's that mean?
The guy who, the people who kidnap all the girls. That Islamic terrorist group. They destroyed it under the demands of ISIS. Isn't that lovely? So another historical loss. Keep in mind, this is the only stronghold of Christianity by Africans of their own will. Eventually, when Africa will be imperialized or invaded by the Europeans, there'll be forced conversion. But at this point, they're the only ones who truly embrace it on their own, and it's destroyed. So thank you, ISIS. All right, so challenges to the caste system. Biggest things you need to know is that with civilization becoming more and more diverse and a lot more opportunity to make money, the caste system is going to be challenged, and we're going to see it's going to move a little bit north. Biggest thing that happens in period 3 in India is the arrival of Islam and the removal of Buddhism. Where was Buddhism originally found, people? India. Guess where it's removed from in period 3? India. It's a very strange thing. They are going to be kicked out. Now, please listen very carefully. Please listen very carefully, okay? This man right here is going to lead invasions from Afghanistan into northern India. He's going to burn Buddhist temples and Buddhist monasteries and Hindu temples. Creates a lot of destruction and a lot of mistrust. Because of him, a lot of people are going to turn on Buddhists. Over a period of time, about 150 years, they're going to turn on Buddhists. By the end of period 3, there's no more Buddhism in India. It's completely eradicated. Buddhists are now forced out of India and are forced into China. Now, in about period 5, they start migrating back. Well, there's some Buddhists in India today, not nearly as much as they used to. Buddhism will be removed because of this man. Okay, he starts this whole trend of targeting Buddhists. Beforehand, why would you hate a Buddhist now? All they want is peace and quiet and loveliness. Okay, but it's because of this man. The reason why the Hindus have such a huge problem with Islam today in 2016 is because of this man who created this distrust, this hostility between Islam and Hinduism, between Islam and Buddhism, between Hindus and Buddhists. Okay? At the end of the day, he is a big deal because of the creation of mistrust that he has. What is happening today? I need you, buddy. I need you. Okay, so the biggest thing, Buddhism in India, period 3 declines. Muslim invaders destroy monastery. Monks are banished. Okay, that's a very big deal. Now, Hinduism is going to become popular again. Remember, when a religion is typically penalized, we're going to have an extreme embracing, just like of Judaism after the Holocaust. A lot of Jews who are kind of just casual Jews, okay, become really diehard about protecting and providing and making sure their culture continues. Same type of thing. When Hinduism is under attack by Islam, Hinduism is going to evolve. And they're going to become more of a salvation. Today we consider Hinduism a salvation. Just like Christianity is salvation. If you do all the right things, you go to heaven. Yes? Islam, if you do all the right things, you go to heaven. Traditionally, Hinduism was not a salvation religion. It was just about how the creation, how to be reborn, stuff like that. It's going to become more of a salvation religion in period 3. We're going to have 2 major theorists. And this is where it's a little tricky. I will say this is the hardest thing. I messed it up earlier, but I fixed it. There are 2 major religious theorists. Shankara, whose the spelling is up here in case you can't see it, believes logical devotion equals salvation. Okay, so Shankara, which is up there, believes that logical devotion will get you salvation. And then you have whatever that one is the emotional devotion equals salvation, and he will become the foundation of modern day Hinduism. Is that what you need, Jessica?
The one above it, or after the salvation.
There's nothing under salvation.
No, Hinduism.
Salvation, especially for the poor, becomes popular. Okay, so Hinduism is going to become a lot more popular after the invasion of Islam, just as a reaction to the invasion. Okay, just like, God forbid, if the United States is invaded today, guess what everyone will be wearing tomorrow? Red, white, and blue. Everyone's going to be a huge patriot. Everyone's going to be saying, oh my God, I love this country. When today, you know, people could be making fun of, I can't believe our American democracy is putting up these two candidates. You know, those types of comments. Hello? Okay, if we get attacked today by an external source, guess what everyone's going to be wearing tomorrow? America, the great, the brave, the wonderful. Okay, that's just how people are. When Hinduism is under attack by Islam, Hinduism becomes more popular, and we have two major theorists, and these are the two major theorists. The biggest thing you need to know is Ramanuja. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
You can just call it Rama.
But that's not it.
Ramajua.
Ramajua?
Yeah, and Shaka.
Ramajua.
Ramajua. Yeah.
How do you say this one?
No, much.
I guess that's Islamic.
Yeah, Ramajua. And then the V is, I don't know where it is. Oh, V is Vijayangar. Or like, if you want to say it, you know, in American accent, Vijayangar. There's a lot of syllables.
Yeah.
So that's really
And that doesn't really work with this.
The C1 is easy though. It's chola.
Chola? That was pretty close.
But it's actually pronounced chole.
Okay, yeah.
Like a food.
I destroy every
It's
like
fine.
name
I don't
in every
care.
culture. I just want you to know. I just don't, because it's really awkward because I'm destroying it.
Yeah,
right
I know,
here.
right here.
I know. So it's like I'm literally word vomiting on you and I'm mispronouncing.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
All right. So Ramajua is the emotional devotion, and he's the foundation of modern Hinduism today. Guys, religions evolve, religions change. We're going to get to Christianity here in a second, and that's going to evolve and that's going to change here in a big way, in the first big way. All right, conversion. Islam in India becomes popular among low jati. What does low jati mean? You can raise your hand and tell me. Dean?
Lower subcaste.
Lower subcaste. Why would Islam be more attractive in a lower subcaste, Dean?
Because the Hindu religion supports the caste. If they're not treated as a lower caste, they're more acceptable.
Okay, and it gives them more opportunities. Can we agree? Okay, so the Bhakti Movement, which is a big movement, is going to try to unite Hinduism and Islam. The Bhakti Movement is going to eventually, in period 4, lead to a syncretism, which we'll get to. But it's a starting point of trying to connect Hinduism and Islam. A guy named Guru Kabir believes Muhammad and Shira are the same person. Just like there's a religion which we're going to get to in period 4, and I can't believe I remember what the name of it is because I'm in 3, not in 4 intellectually, who believes that Muhammad, Jesus, and Abraham were all the same person. They just transcend time. It's kind of a cool idea that it's the same person born over and over again. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay? Guru Bakir believes Muhammad and Shira are the same deity, and it's not very popular. But it's important. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I don't have my context, so I'm recommending to see what is the.
Next time, just take a picture of the board. It makes it easier. Ooh, someone's in trouble. Did you get in trouble?
Huh?
Did your parents take you away because you're in trouble?
I
Yes.
don't have one.
Have one. I like your style, girl. Stay detached. All they do is do group chats and do mean things to each other, so you're better without it. Don't act like you don't know.
The person is so mean.
Don't act like I shouldn't know. I teach high school, for God's sake. All right.
Wait, so what does it say? Okay, so
Which one? Islam?
The common movement.
Oh, the Bhakti Movement attempts to unite Hinduism and Islam.
Is that an H or an I?
For what?
For Bhakti.
It's
like.
It's like-
I always have it up here, too.
Oh, it's T. Oh. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I always have it up here, guys. All right. To the boards, my darlings. Please stop, Dan. Please
It should
stop.
have like a button.
No.
That's not-
Do we need to
No,
know the
I'm
Google
good.
guy?
Huh?
Google Kabir? Do we need to know him?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's up there. Believes Muhammad and Shiva are the same. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what are Chinese trading ships called? What are Chinese trading ships called? What are they, Lauren? Junks. They're called jukes, but junks I like too. It's fine by me, sweetie. I have no room to say anything, so believe me. On your whiteboard, please tell me, in Indian society, what are the center of education, banking, agriculture, and trade? Good. Where are they? Sophia? Temples. If you go to Southeast Asia and India to a degree, even here in Tampa, there's a temple.
There's a lot of Indian temples here.
Yeah, if you go there, they have huge trade markets on Saturdays, don't they?
I don't go.
Yeah,
But aren't they?
there's a large Scientology church.
It's not anywhere near what we're talking about. Thanks. On your whiteboard, please tell me. Please tell me what major religion is going to be eradicated from India during period 3. Good. What is it, Jack? Buddhism. What is the name of the gentleman who is responsible for making Hindus more Hindu devoted? Who is the gentleman who is going to cause the most conflict in India, and who is going to be responsible for the mistrust for the Buddhists? Jessica. Yes, you need to know him. You need to know him. What is the movement called where we're trying to get Hindus and Muslims to work together and unify? And someone goes as far to say that the major deities of them are all the same. Good. What is it, Isabella?
Bhakti Movement.
There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what Indian kingdom originally is going to help the Sultanate of Delhi, which makes them incredibly unique. However, they'll eventually reject because, frankly, the Sultanate of Delhi is a hot mess. What is it, Adrian?
Don't know how to say it.
That sounds
Yeah,
good.
V.
The V people. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the only Christian by choice African empire. Good. What is it, Molly? Kingdom of Axum. All right. Southeast Asia. I'm just flying right through. Sorry, Southeast Asia. All right, here we go. Europe is where we'll begin. Now, Christendom during this time is going to go through major changes. All religions are going through changes and evolving, just like you are not the same person you were 2 years ago. Aren't you grateful? When you think back to who you were, aren't you glad? Like, oh, man. Thank God. Huh? You're not the same. You're different from the gentleman you were when you walked in my room, darling. Okay? So, everyone evolves, everyone changes. Medieval Christendom is going to divide it into 2 major parts. First one is led by Rome, the other one is led by Constantinople. Now, the Byzantine Empire is going to be your first major Christian empire ever. Now, the Romans are not a Christian empire. They happen to have Christianity at the very last bit of their empire. Now, the Byzantine Empire is going to have a capital of Constantinople. It's located on the Golden Horn. The Golden Horn is that peninsula in between Asia and Europe. It's about a mile across in between the continents. Okay? And it is on an incredibly important military and trading location. Okay? It will eventually collapse in 1453. It'll be around for a very long time. However, it's going to be shrinking significantly after the Justinian falls. Their color is purple. Purple is known as what color? It represents what, Jack?
Royalty.
Royalty. The reason why European monarchs choose purple is to nod at the first Christian empire, which is the Byzantines. There you go. The Roman color is what? What is the Romans' famous color? Max?
Olive.
No. What is it, Jack?
Red.
Red. Romans wore red. Remember, the Byzantines are the new Romans, but the Byzantines separate themselves from the Romans in many different ways. One of it is their favorite colors, yes.
Does it say read it?
Located?
Oh,
Located on Golden Horn, trade capital of the world. Europe and Asia collapses in 1453. 1453 is a big year, which is why I have a box on it. To the Turks. And then the color is purple. That's their big color. Every once in a while, AP cares. All right. Now, the interesting thing about their rule is they are the first Christian empire. However, they're different than how European empires are going to interpret it. They have Caesarea. I don't even try. It's not. Their emperors are not divine. They are not considered gods. However, they have divine authority. What that means is they are not a god. They are in no way anywhere near as powerful or as important as God or the Pope. However, they have the right to rule. God's hand-selected them to rule. We're going to call this eventually absolutism and... Oh, crap. Absolutism, but it starts with divine right is what eventually it'll turn into. I don't know why that was so hard for me to get. Sometimes it's just hard to think. And I feel like most of these that's for me. Alright, we good? Hello? Good. Alright, so your first major person that you need to know is on the Byzantine court. I'm just going to tell you, is royal purple. They have a bow. It doesn't really matter. Justinian is your first big one. He's called the Sleepless Warrior. He's called the Sleepless Emperor because he does so much in such a little time period. He has a wife named Theodora who's incredibly famous because, you know, she's a prostitute. They say nicely she's a circus performer. That's really nice. They're trying to, you know, keep dignity intact. The reason why she's a big deal and why she's mentioned when we don't really talk about the wives of all these emperors, because all these emperors we've discussed have wives, the reason why she's a big deal is because she's a commoner. Because she's a commoner, she has a really unique perspective. She pushes Justinian to do a lot of service projects for the people. She's also going to be a huge role in keeping Justinian in power. That's going to happen because she will go out and speak to the people, and the people really respect her because she came from nothing, and she's like them. Okay? Now he's going to build the Hagia Sophia, which is the largest church, creates Justinian Code. Now the Justinian Code is Romans 12 tables simplified. He takes about 15,000 Roman laws and pulls out 412 or 312 or something like that. So it takes 12,000 laws over 5,000 years of Roman history and puts it into one condensed thing. The longest lasting impact of the Byzantine Empire is going to be the Justinian Code. It's going to be used for thousands of years. The foundation of it is going to be used and reflected even in our government, which is pretty cool. They're going to conquer a lot of territory around the Mediterranean Sea. Are they going to conquer all the territory Rome did? Where don't they conquer in a major way? Dean?
Like in northern Africa, not northern, like the African, like kind of to the northwest-ish.
Okay, yeah, but what major part of that Mediterranean Sea region are they not conquering at all, Max?
The Iberian Peninsula.
No, they have the Iberian Peninsula. They have that one. What do they got? What are they missing?
Most of the Western Roman Empire.
Western Roman Empire is not on the map. They don't control Spain. They have a little bit of Spain at the bottom. France, they have like none. It's like they have the little tip on the other side of Morocco. That's it.
That's
Mostly they don't have any of France. They don't have any of Germany. None of that, which was all controlled by the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
That whole Western Rome is completely not conquered. Okay, so the theme system is another major lasting impact. Okay, and we're gonna see this. What happens is, in order to separate and control all this territory, they're gonna create the theme system. This is a test question, by the way. The theme system is general control of certain areas, and this is all done by military administration. It's streamlined. It's pretty effective. It's going to be mimicked in many different ways. The people, peasants, regular people like you and I are going to benefit pretty well from this. First of all, if you do well in the military, they give you an area to rule, which is pretty cool. Okay, the military is going to be one of the fastest ways to move up. All right, to the boards. To the boards, here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me who is the most important ruler of the Byzantine Empire. Who's the most important ruler? Come on. Good. Maya. Justinian, on your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of Justinian's wife who's going to keep him in power because he's so well liked. I didn't put it up there, but you should know it. Good. What is it? Adrian.
Theodora.
Theodora, on your whiteboard, please tell me, Rome is the capital of Catholicism. What is the capital of Eastern Orthodox? Good. What is it? The city. What is it, Isabella? Constantinople. On your whiteboard, please tell me what selects certain Roman laws and simplifies it and makes it incredibly effective. This was done by the Byzantines, and it's going to ensure it's part of it, one of the 4 parts. What is it, Lily? Justinian Code. What is it called when a general is appointed to rule a certain territory in order to streamline administration of such a vast territory? What is it? Micah? Theme system. Alright, so the Germanic successor. So, the last Roman emperor is going to be completely overthrown by the Germanic people. The Germanic people are non-Roman people. They're going to come in and take over the territory. Germanic people are called Germanic people because everyone has descendants to essentially German people. Eventually will be consolidated into what we call Germany today. The Germanic successor states are going to be your major barbarians. Okay, so the first one is going to be called the Franks. Now the Franks are going to be one of the largest and has the most prolific influence. So they're going to have the most influence over Europe's development, over Europe in period 3. Okay? They convert to Christianity post-Rome. So as Rome is falling, are the Franks Christian or are they non-Christian? Max. They're non-Christian. Once the Rome has fallen, who can raise your hand and tell me what year Rome falls? Aiden? 410. After 410, around about 500, the Franks decide it starts becoming more popular for the Franks to turn into Christian. And we're going to see that by 600, most of them are going to be Christians. Okay, they're going to convert to Christianity post-Rome and create an alliance, an ally with Pope. Okay, so they're going to be coming in an alliance with the Pope, which means they're going to work together, not against the Pope. So they've already set themselves up to not overthrow the Roman Empire. The Franks are not going to invade, not the Roman Empire, to overthrow the city of Rome, which is where the empire lives. Now, the Franks are the people. The first major empire of the Franks is going to be the Carolingians. Carolingians. Your first major person is Charles Hammer Martel. Okay? Charles Martel is going to create feudalism and defeat the Moors. In parentheses, Spanish Muslims. Okay? Stops. This win will stop Islam from spreading into Europe. It stops it in Spain. So Spain is going to have a Muslim influence, but it's not going to make it into France. So the Franks are have the most influence over Rome in Europe in period 3. They convert to Christianity post-Rome and ally with the Pope. The first major empire is your Carolingian Empire. These are under the Franks. The Franks are the Carolingian Empire. The Carolingian Empire is made up of Franks. The Carolingian Empire is the first one of these people. Okay, and the big thing you need to know is Charles Martel. Charles Martel, you need to know he created feudalism and he defeated the Moors. Okay, he stops Islam from spreading in, which is why people in France, Germany, and all of the other Western Europe don't really like Muslims today, correct? Because historically, Muslims have never been in those regions, and they've created this really, really dense Christianity, which is only going to spawn more issues with Muslims growing into the Holy Land. Okay? Now, Carolingians, your first ruler. Your second major ruler of the Carolingians is Charlemagne. Now, Charlemagne is one of the most important of the Carolingian rulers. Okay? He's the grandson of Charles Martel. He's going to centralize rule. He's going to push education. And a military genius. Okay, he's a really good guy. Okay, so Charlemagne, yes, you need to know his name. He's a very big deal. Okay, so what's going to happen is Charlemagne is going to centralize rule. Okay, so Charles Martel is going to organize people. Charlemagne centralizes, which is much more effective. He's going to promote education and military genius. And he wants government accountability. So he creates the Missi Dominati. Okay, is auditing the government. So ensuring taxes get paid. They're going to audit all of the government people. Okay, to make sure the taxes are being paid. Is this good or bad for the poor people, normal people like you and I? Is it good or bad? If the government's being audited, which means they're being checked to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, that the king, the emperor, is making sure the local rulers are doing exactly what they're supposed to, taxing the way they're supposed to tax, not taxing more, is this a good thing or bad thing for people like you and me? It's a very good thing. Charlemagne is good for us normal people. He ensures that we are treated fairly, and this will be the foundation of most European governments from here on out. So, Missi Dominati is a big deal. Okay? Now, he was going to challenge the Byzantines about becoming the title of emperor. Okay? He almost took an army from Europe to go to the Byzantine Empire to conquer, but he ends up backing down. Okay? Now, Pope Leo, in a political move, is going to name him. Given title of Holy Roman Emperor. In a political move. By the Pope. Okay, so he is your first Holy Roman Emperor. Holy Roman Emperor is different than Holy Roman. Now, Charlemagne is thinking about waging a war against the Byzantines. So please listen, because I'm not making you take notes on it. However, it's on the AP exam. I want you to know why. Okay? He is given the title because the Byzantines are starting to separate themselves with their Christianity. Okay? They're worshiping saints, and the Roman Emperor is like, the Roman Pope is like, no, that's weird. Don't do that. No. So what happens is the Pope has to choose between the two powerful Christian empires, the Carolingian and the Byzantine. Which one is wealthier? Byzantines. Which one's more powerful military? Which one has a powerful military, theoretically? One has been around for a very long time. One's growing out of Europe. Which one do you think is the most powerful military? Byzantine, okay? So the Pope is like, there's a clear favorite here, and I should go with Byzantine. However, my man Charlemagne's pretty cool. I'm going to name him Holy Roman Emperor. He does it to piss off who? Byzantines, and he uses it as a political ploy. If you're not going to worship the way I want you to worship, you don't get to have the title. Do you think that makes the Byzantines happy or super pissed? Super pissed. Because they're going to be super pissed, are they going to reconcile and try to be besties with the Pope, or is it going to force a larger divide? It's It's going to force a larger divide. That larger divide will eventually create the Great Schism, which is the separation of Eastern and Roman Empire and Roman Catholicism. Okay, so it's a big deal. So the Carolingian Empire is going to be officially in charge of Rome. To be officially in charge of the Pope is a great honor for any emperor to be in charge of that holy city, correct? Which is why today the Vatican is located in Vatican City. It is not controlled by any country or anyone else. It's its own private country. They can do whatever the hell they want in there. It's literally barricaded by these massive walls. If you go into the Vatican City, you're in a whole other foreign country. The Romans give it electricity and allow it to have water. However, Vatican City is its own country. It has its own post office. It has its own police, which is the Swiss Guard. It is a completely separate entity because of issues like this. Yes.
Do you benefit from like tourism there?